Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeTolife.com and welcome to this quote of the week video, which will touch base on the topic of how to use your imagination consciously, the right way, how to shift into the end state, how to make the inner atmosphere of having achieved the goal of being who you want to be natural so that it can show up, so that it can manifest as a consequence of you having moved into a new state of consciousness, right? How does it work? So I want to share a quote from Neville Goddard with you, which is very straight to the point. You can just after this video start to applying this, right? This is a super practical video. And with that, let's just dive right into this week's quote. So Neville Goddard said this: the way to use your imagination creatively is this. Okay, listen closely. And then we're going through all of that step by step. Relax in a chair or on a bed and close your eyes. First, determine what it is you wish to experience. Then, in this state of complete relaxation, bring to mind the end result of what it is you desire. In other words, if you are seeking promotion at work, the end result might be that people would congratulate you on your promotion. You might move to a larger office. You would enjoy an increase in pay. Take any of these events and with your eyes closed, actually hear your friends congratulate you on your promotion. Feel their hand in yours as they tell you how happy they are for you. By actually feeling that you are being congratulated, your imagination will go to work to bring about that state in your outer world. You need not to be concerned about how this will be accomplished. Your imagination will use whatever natural means are necessary to bring it about. So, in my opinion, this quote includes, a lot of pure wisdom nuggets. So, let's just go through it step by step so that this makes more sense to you, right? First of all, I want to point this out, right? Neville says in the first sentence here, the way to use your imagination creatively is this, and then he explains it. What I want to point out first of all is that we all use our imagination all the time, right? We always imagine. You can't turn this on or off. You do this all the time, right? Before you text your best friend, meet your best friend, before you go shopping, before you do this and that, you still, first of all, imagine it, and then you move. Then you just do it. But placing your awareness on something, imagining it, and then you do it, that always happens all the time, right? But you can be more aware of it. You can control it consciously to then encounter the things that you actually do want. But again, what I want to point out here is that this is nothing that you can just now start to do. You do it all the time, but you can now start to do it consciously, intentionally, to the way that you actually get what you desire, okay? But the question, of course, is how do we do it consciously? How do we do it, in a sense, creatively and in such a way that it brings about the desired things that we do want. And this is what Neville explains here, right? So he says, first of all, relax, right? If you relax in a chair, if you relax on your bed, if you relax on your couch, that's all irrelevant. But it's first of all about a little bit like calming the mind. Because when you try to, imagine in your day-to-day life, what you can also do, and I do this all the time consciously, but in the beginning, this can be quite difficult for some people because their attention is, diverted in millions of directions. You think about yesterday and what you might do tomorrow and this and that and the argument with this person and this relationship situation, the money situation. So it's hard for you to focus your attention on one state of the wish fulfilled. So therefore Neville said, relax, right? Sit on a chair, sit on your bed, lay on your bed, lay on your couch, just be relaxed. Take some deep breaths. This is nothing mystical. You don't have to follow a, strict path. Just get in a relaxed state, right? When you ate some dinner, when you ate lunch, that's all that it takes, right? You're just your stomach is full, and you're relaxed, and you can just imagine, for example, right? So when you are relaxed, right? And usually before you go into that relaxed state, you kind of should know what is your desire, right? So you need to be clear on your desire, then you relax, and then you go into the end state. So let's say you know what your desire is. You define it. You say, this is what I want. This is who I want to be. And that's the attitude of a bold manifester. That's the attitude of a creator in a sense, right? That, he decides what he wants. She decides what she wants, right? She doesn't accept anything less than that. It's boldness, right? It's being self-assured. It's just really picking that state, which again does already exist. So when we speak about the creative use and creating something, it's not actually that we create it, right? For us, for our circumstances, it will seem like, okay, we created it. It's something new that we might have not manifested before. So we can say, oh yeah, we created that. But actually, we just picked that portion of creation, that already existing state, identified with it, shifted into it, and therefore it expressed, therefore it manifested, but it does already exist, okay? So we know what we want, we defined that, we got relaxed, and this is now when, we want to consciously imagine, okay? So in this state of relaxation, bring to your mind, meaning internally, in your inner world, right? Experience the end result. This is about an imaginative internal experience. Okay, I will just in a second explain more about that. But bring to your internal world the end result of what it is you desire, meaning internally experiencing the wish fulfilled, right? Believe you have received and you will. First of all, you have to believe that you already have it, and then you will get it externally in form of the reflection, in form of the manifestation, right? In other words, and then Neville gives a great example, which I really love here, right? If for example, you seek promotion at work, you want a better salary, you want more business success, you want more clients, you want a higher revenue, you want a relationship, you want the relationship that you desire, you want X, Y, and Z, you want to change your health situation, your lifestyle, travel more, whatever it is, right? You name it, you define it, you say, this is what I want. And the fact alone that you can desire it means that you can be aware of it, that this is already within awareness, that this already does exist, but it can only show up if you make it natural, if you shift into having it, into being it, okay? So let's say you want promotion, and then the end result, right? You don't imagine the promotion itself. You don't imagine the moment where the promotion happens, where your boss tells you, hey, you're promoted. That's not what you imagine. Why? Because that then might be very euphoric, and then it still can create the separation between, oh yeah, like this is so nice, and the promotion, yeah, but on a subtle way, it can keep it still separate from you. So what you want to do is pick something after that. I made a video on this called Choose Your Day After. I will link this above right now. So you ask yourself, okay, if I would already have achieved the promotion, if I would already have achieved my desired manifestation, right? The business success, the relationship, the health success, whatever you want, right? What would be then different in my life? Who would congratulate me on that? What would I do differently? Right? And you just pick one of those events, one of those scenes. If that is hearing, seeing, touching, something that you can experience internally, right? So Neville gives some examples here, right? People would congratulate you. You would maybe move to a larger office. You would maybe enjoy a increase in your pay, which you would, of course, then notice when you go shopping, when you have a dinner. You would not worry about how much it costs because you can simply afford that because you have more money right now because you got the salary, right? So you can take any of these events. It doesn't matter what you imagine, what you inwardly experience. But it does only matter what this implies to you, in which state this anchors you. Right? You can also use I remember when I had this old job, or when I had this low-paying job, but now I'm feeling, super lucky that I have this high salary. Right? If you say these words and that helps you to identify with the new state, that does the same thing. That will also manifest it the same way. Right? What matters is that you move in the new state. But with these congratulation techniques, inner hearing techniques, inner conversation, overhearing two people speak about you, I remember when all of these are great ways to shift into the end state, right? And when you pick the congratulation method, which I also have an entire video on, which you can check out above right now, this is very powerful. I used it for a lot of my desires, and it's very easy because you know how your family, friends, girlfriend, whoever you imagine, you know how they speak to you. So pick them, and in their words, hear how they congratulate you, on how they tell you and confirm to you that you are now who you want to be, that you now have what you want to have, right? Very straightforward. And that is what you then, in this relaxed state, simply experience again and again and again. And you bath yourself, you devote yourself to this inner experience, right? And then faith starts to grow, because this faith comes from this experience you had. Remember, this is an imaginative experience. This is real. This does exist. You're just aware of another portion of creation. Remember these infinite realities, these infinite possibilities, and you now place your awareness on that congratulation, and you imagine that, and that does exist. And the more you experience that, the more natural this will become, the more certain that will become for you, the more you will shift into this knowing, and then you have this faith, and then you walk by faith and no longer by sight. Right? Walking by sight means you walk by what your life currently represents to you. Walking by faith means you walk by something that is currently unseen for others and even for your own senses, but you know that is already true for you. And as long as you keep this, as long as you carry this state with you, the state of the wish fulfilled, the state of knowing that you have it, the state of knowing that you already achieved it, then it will manifest, then it will show up, right? So for example, you can also feel their hands as they congratulate you and tell you that they're happy for you, right? And you feel it to be done. You experience it to be done, right? You go into the wish fulfilled, and you don't do this, like I always say, to hope for results, to wait for results. No, you can go straight forward into the wish fulfilled state right now, right here, because it is available within you. You don't need to wait for the confirmation first before you can feel fulfilled and like, finally I have it. No, you first feel that you have it, that you achieved it, that it is done via any of the techniques and methods that resonates with you, and then you have it. And then the mirror can show it to you. Then you see the results, the consequence in form of the manifestation, right? And here's the interesting part. Your imagination, right? Your deeper self, your true self, your consciousness, right? Will go to work to bring about that state in your outer world. That's the amazing thing. Meaning once we identified with the desired state, once we stated this is what we want, and we made this natural for us, we made this certain to us, we shifted into having it, into being it, then every other thing is lifted off our shoulders, meaning we don't have to work out the way after that and think, oh, what action should I take? Should I do this? Should I think this? No, right? The only job that we have as the operant power, as the one determining in which state we shift, is going to that desired state where we have and be what we want to have and who we want to be, right? Everything else happens automatically, right? Like Neville's saying here, you need not to be concerned about how this will be accomplished, right? If you worry about the how, that's still a statement that you try to make it so. But how can you try to make it so if it's already yours, right? If you try to make it so and you're worried about the how and you are not sure about which action to take, that still means that you're not in the state of the wish fulfilled. You don't fully have it within yet. So you go back to the end state, right? I have an entire video called Should I Take Action When Manifesting? I will link this above right now. This is very important. Please check this video out when you have some time, right? Should you take action? And I explain this whole concept again. But again, when you understand all of that, then you know that your only job is to go to the end. As soon as you make that natural, then you don't have to do anything, because again, the end state has all the means necessary to perfectly express itself, and you will be perfectly moved across this bridge of incidents to then encounter the new results, right? Let the state lead. I also have an entire video on this. Really check this out, right? So you don't need to worry about the how, right? And the more you understand the entire framework, which is, if you need help with that, you can check out the 2 links in the video description. The more you understand the framework, the more you apply it, the more you will see that this is true. So right now, when I have a desire and I go to the end, I'm absolutely not worried about the how. I don't even care about this, because the satisfaction does not come from worrying about the how. The satisfaction and relief comes from being in the end state, which is then perfectly expressed. You will be led to take the right actions, the right people will come to you, and you will just be inspired to do the right things without second guessing and second doubting that. Okay? So your imagination, your true self, your higher self, whatever you like to call that, right? Consciousness, the depths of our own being, will use whatever natural means are necessary to bring it about. So it's not your job to sit there and be like, oh, how can I get this? What can I do next? That's an indication that you're not in the end state. Your only job is to be in the end state. And when you fall out of it, when you notice that because you're doing a mental diet, I also have a video on this. I can link it above, or if I already linked 5 videos, then you can check this on my video, on my channel called Mental Diet, right? Which is the only requirement for you to stay aware. Whenever you slip out of the desired state, you go back into it. You make it natural again. And once you succeeded in that, it has to show up. Your life has to give you confirmation on what you have alive within you and what is certain to you in your internal world, right? The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you're doing within yourself. So worry about, not worry about, but focus on your internal world and make these internal shifts, right? If you need any help with that, like I said before, check out the 2 links in the video description. One is my entirely free masterclass where I'm going to guide you through what is relevant, why some people delay their manifestations, and what you need to, focus on, which is shifting your state and how to do that. And if you want to work with me because you want to implement this entire framework of Neville's teachings, get your results, see movement, make progress, and actually, implement this, have this as a conscious lifestyle that you live from, where manifesting is not something, where you have to watch 10 YouTube videos about, but where this is a lived experience, then you can also apply for a free 45-minute consultation call with me, where we can find out if we are a good fit to work together in my program, right? If that is what you want, if you would like some accountability. That's the second link in the video description. And with that, I conclude this quote. I think this is very powerful. So what do you have to wait for right now? When this video is done right now, and you maybe checked out some of the other videos, go for it. Define your desire. Ask yourself, what would imply for me personally that I've achieved it, right? Close your eyes and bath yourself in that. Imagine it, experience it, right? And if you say you're not good at visualizing, maybe use the sense of inner hearing. If you're not good at this, use visualizing. If you're not good at this, find any other method. I remember WIM, the telephone technique. I have all of that on my channel. Find any way to help you identify with the end state, with already being in that new identity, in that new self-concept, and to already having what you want to have. And if that's certain and natural to you with Vim, your world has to confirm that, right? So let me know in the comments down below how you enjoyed this video, if you got some value out of that, and I look forward to speak to you soon. Bye, guys.